What you got going on, dude?
Just a old small block Chevy.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, I mean, really, the only thing old is the block, and we're gonna reuse the heads because he hadn't used it long.
Now, is this my old
This
small
is
block?
the old 406 out of
Pat.
Yep.
Okay.
There's your old crank over there, still intact.
Yeah. That's the one that when I first started the channel I had a nitrous backfire, and we took it out, rebuilt it, and built the turbo less, right?
Yeah.
That's the one?
Yep.
Okay.
So
he had a Pro Charged, right?
yeah, he had a Pro Charger. He had changed the cam, and then he had these O-rings installed in the block because he kept having
Popping head
as soon as he
gaskets.
put Pro Charger on it, as you know, putting air in it, he couldn't keep a head gasket in it. So
Okay.
anyhow, he got it fixed. I mean, he was putting up to 40 pounds of boost on it on
Yeah.
a Eagle crank, deal.
Yeah. It's in a little Chevy too.
It's in a Chevy too. I mean, it's pretty salty,
Yeah.
It's just a 23-degree headed old school small block.
So, but now it's going to be a twin turbo deal.
Twin turbo,
Right.
23-degree old school small block. Yeah.
And he must be wanting to run some boost because I see a Callie's Demon Slayer or whatever it is.
This is the baddest Callie's crank there is as far as for small block. I mean, it looks like a piece of art,
You almost see yourself in those journals.
And we were having trouble getting some parts. I mean, like, even with our LSs, like, I couldn't find rods on my LS.
Yeah.
So
where are we?
So I ended up, Phil Cook had a connection on this crankshaft, and it's a 3875 stroke. That's a 375 stroke.
Okay.
So this is gonna make more cubic inch. It's gonna be, in other words, from being a 406 or 408, it's gonna go to a 421, 424.
Okay.
Because it is 40 over. It's 4165 bore. So 4165 bore, 3875. We could get a calculator and do the math, but
Yeah.
anyway. And then we're just going flat tops.
Okay. We got rods too.
Got Oliver
Billet rods.
billet rods.
Shoot. What's he wanting to run? Like 50 pounds of boost on this thing?
He
or
wants
what?
to make over 2,000 horsepower with it.
Okay.
We've got some. I think that those are Dart 235 CNCs. I mean, they're gonna be pushing air through them.
Yeah.
So, and then John Bewley ground me a camshaft. It's a custom turbo grind. Like I say, so I mean, it's probably gonna make big boost. He's gonna. Whatever it'll make, that's how much he's gonna run. Or he thinks anyway. I think this boost is way different than Pro Charger boost. So
Yeah.
I think it's. I don't know any better way to do it. I mean, you always. These are usually pretty easy, but they ain't made out of this stuff.
I hate these wire rods. I would much rather mess with
The spiral lock.
spiral rods.
Really?
Yeah. Rods are on besides one. You threw the clip in the road or something, right?
Grabbed it through. That was for good luck though.
So yeah, I was putting the rods together. One of the wire clips shot off, and it went somewhere like around this area. We'll find it after we build this.
As our shop is, I can't believe we can't find it.
But Dad got the block clean, got some got some bearings in.
I got to get a rear main, and then I'll probably check the crank and put it in.
Okay.
And then the cam, and then flip it over. And, well, I say that we might put the crank in it and just test it, like put a bearing on one of these and slide it in with no rings or anything. Let's go ahead and make sure
it rolls over.
Because I've built them and had to take them apart to clearance them, you know, a little bit more. But I think this will
be fine.
The way these rods, if this was aluminum rods or something, definitely wouldn't fit. But I think as short as that rod is, I think it'll be fine.
All right, well, we're gonna keep on going. So.
But you just gotta have 60 thousandths of clearance, and that's 100. So
yeah,
it's close on that corner.
It's gonna look like none at 8,000 RPM. You know it?
Yeah. I don't know if this.
Maybe we need to try this corner.
Yeah. I'll say we put it in that hole.
Okay.
All right. So let's loosen it up.
Okay. All right, so this is another glorious task I get tasked with because Dad doesn't want to file fit rings no more.
What you're talking about.
So you might just kind of explain.
Woo! That second ring's pretty flimmy. So.
You might just kind of explain what we're doing.
Well, when you put these in, like if we put them in the cylinder right now, it would be all the way butted up.
Okay.
And when you make boost, you got to give it a regular naturally aspirated motor, about 16 thousandths would, when this ring's in the square in the cylinder.
Okay.
And when you go with boost, it creates a lot of top heat and it'll cause those rings to butt. And when you break a piston, it's usually, the piston didn't really break, the ring lamb butted up and it broke the ring lamb.
Yeah.
Or the ring butted up and popped the ring lamb. It's got to go somewhere. So we usually do about 30 thousandths. You know, we're going to go 32 on this one.
Okay.
Some people go as much as 40. The only time I went to 35 was on the Red Dragon's big block. Not last time we built it for that other guy, but before that. And it steamed, or I mean, it made smoke out my breather tank the whole time it was running, and it drove me batty. And the olds, kind of the same way. I mean,
yeah.
I put a little extra on that motor, and it kind of makes steam the whole time it's running too. And I don't like that. So again, at 32, they're not gonna butt, you know, even on probably 40 pounds of boost. I mean, as long as you got a good 30's the rule of thumb on most. I mean, the bigger the bore, the bigger the gap can be. But
yeah, got all the pistons loaded with the rings and everything. We're about to start knocking them in. You already got one in, right?
Yeah, I already put one in just to make sure
everything was going good.
Yep. So we'll get the pistons in. Need to check that pan and make sure that it's going to clear so you can weld them bungs in it.
Yeah.
I need to order, I'd like to order all the gaskets this morning.
Like head gaskets and everything?
Yeah, but I didn't really want to do that until we
got everything in.
Yeah.
Didn't want to guess.
No, because my luck, we put 40 thousandths, the pistons would be 30 out of the hole or something.
Yeah.
Which I don't think they're going to be. we didn't deck it or anything, but anytime you order custom pistons, sometimes they're all a little different, you know, on the compression height and how far the ringland is out.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
You want to talk about the pistons on a small block
Yeah.
Chevy real quick?
Well, on a small block Chevy, if you look at the head, the outer exhaust ports are exhaust ports and the two centers.
Okay.
So when you're putting pistons in, you gotta, you know, the smaller is the exhaust, and you gotta make sure your two center exhausts are together and the two outers are on the outside. So,
Yeah.
Because like a LS, they'd all be facing this way. Every one of them would
They'd all
like
go the
that.
same.
Yeah.
A small block Chevy, you can match up the intakes on the outside and match up the exhaust on the inside.
Yeah, yeah. As long as both intakes, you're good. Now, on that aluminum motor you had, it had some weird heads on it.
Yeah.
And they was all the same way, you know?
Yeah. Now, didn't you build a motor for Johnny without doing this or something? Was it something like
the
that?
first real race 350 or whatever we bought a 383 from a guy, and it was flat tops. And some flat tops, it's gonna have the same size, you know? You just knock them together and go. Well, that one, we'd gotten a couple of pistons backwards, and it ran for a while. But the first time we took it up to 7,500 or something, a valve touched it, and it just bent a valve, you know, and we took it all apart and figured out what the heck we'd done. We just missed. I don't know how we even missed. We didn't look for it. I always look for it. That's a mistake you make one time. You know? But, and it just barely touched, but at 7,500 it touched.
It touched it.
And it was a solid roller 383, and it ran like a scalded. I mean, that motor probably made close to 600 horsepower. It was a runner. It had really good heads and stuff on it. Smells like a menthol. In case y'all was wondering, I mean, I'm smelling menthol right now.
Like a cigarette?
No, like
Biggs?
Like Biggs? I don't know. I've never noticed it before, but I've usually got my MEK going and I can't smell nothing else. So.
I like it. Check out the GoPro. Check out the new tripod. Alright, dude. What are you doing?
Well, trying to line this up.
Lining dots up?
Trying to.
Have you seen that meme? It's Tiger Woods and John Daly standing there, and Tiger Woods is dressed up all like nice, and it says people who degree camshafts. Like, and then it's John Daly sitting there smoking a cigar and said, guys that line up the dots and send it. That's us.
I haven't seen it.
What cam did you put in this thing? I saw you, or I got video of you putting it in there.
It's a John Bewley, foolproof for performance custom cam for this motor.
Yeah.
It's, you know, like I say, 23 degree headed twin turbo deal. That ain't gonna work.
Didn't I got a lock plate?
No, that's why I put those washers, but the front cover on this deal is a little weird. Really, everything on it's weird when we've been working on nothing but LS's. So look, it's got the button built in, but it won't.
Why
it
won't that
won't
work?
go
Oh, it won't go around it.
Well, what are we talking about? I didn't think it would go in there. Oh yeah, look, it's a lot smaller. That's almost the same size as a big block, so we'll be all right. The thing is, you could take this off.
Both
really, so you could take that off and you could degree the cam if it had a, you know, one of those deals.
we ain't about that. We ain't about that life.
No.
Huh.
But.
Okay, well, cams in. Alright, so we ran into a little bit of a snag.
Yeah.
I would call it a lot of bit of a snag, but went to put the pan on and went to roll it over to make sure it wasn't hitting on anything.
And the good news is I think
the pan wasn't hitting on nothing.
That's the good news.
But a rod is catching up on a cam load.
A load.
Yeah. So this rod is catching up on a cam load,
and
that rod is catching up on a cam load. So I know we were talking about not degreeing the cam or anything, but we're gonna try degreeing the crank and the cam.
Yeah, I think we're gonna try to advance it.
Yeah.
And if that don't work, we'll retard it.
We're definitely retarded.
We're gonna make it retarded.
Yeah, we're definitely retarded. You are right about that. So yeah, we're going to do that real quick and then go from there, I guess.
Yeah, we're just gonna try it and see what happens.
All you gotta do is pay your way in and get it for you. Already is. Alright. So, retard, I guess.
It looks like it went farther to me.
It is this one. Well then, I guess you fixed the piston issue.
Yeah. See this lip on this rod right here?
Yeah.
Just how sharp it is. All I had to do was just lightly take that lip off because that's all. It was just barely touching. I put molly grease on the camshaft and stuck one in. I took the rings off of one and rolled
to see
it
where it was hidden.
And it was just hit just right on that lip. So I just ground a little off and put that one back in and it cleared fine. So then I just matched all of them, just did them all about 3/16 wide, you know, and probably only took off like, I don't know, 50 thousandths.
It was enough to lock the whole thing up.
Yeah, she's ready to roll now.
Well, that's good. So, I mean, that's...
Yeah, I just went through and torqued all the rods. I mean, if you're building...
What stroke is it?
Okay, anything more than a 375.
Okay.
It's a 3875. Anything more than 375 stroke in a stock deck height block. Because they've got a raised cam version of this block.
Yeah.
Then it don't matter.
Then you can do whatever.
Yeah, but on a stock, where if your cam's in the stock location, then you got to start looking at rod. And they make stroker rods that will clear. They ain't near as strong as these Olivers. So, it really wasn't a big. I mean, yesterday it was a big deal, but it wasn't a big deal this morning. And as soon as I called Tim, I called Phil at CNC. Just a little bit of, you know, research, and they're like, yeah, because in the last, I built a 434 for this same guy.
Yeah.
but I bought all the parts and somebody had already had it bound. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like,
somebody probably already had the.
Already went through this.
Somebody probably already had the rods.
Yeah.
Ground down.
So I didn't think nothing about it. I mean, I did. That's why I ordered a small base circle camshaft. But
yeah.
But it wasn't enough. Just that. So.
Well, now we can keep on rolling.
Yeah, I just torqued the oil pump on. I was and then I remembered that.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Is it stripped or something?
No, that just it had came loose. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought about running that down and maybe have you put a tack on it so it can't come loose.
Okay.
Since we're gonna have to weld on the pan anyway. So.
Okay. Well, pan's on, our mileage balancer's on, front timing cover's on.
Yeah, we gotta get a longer bolt for the balancer because this thing's crazy.
Yeah.
One, the crank, the threads are all the way back
I think it was.
in there.
I think it was supposed to be threaded for 1/2 inch at the edge.
I do too. It'd be easy to thread it for 1/2 inch. I mean, it could even be threaded right there, you know, if the guys.
If we could keep it straight, but.
And that's the thing, we're not drilling or tapping on a $2,700 crank.
Not us. But so now we just need to flip it over, heads on and intake on, and
I'm probably gonna
run the rockers and stuff on it.
I want to clean the pan and try to maybe paint it.
Why would you paint this nice orange pan?
Man, it's an eyesore right now.
Welded some bungs into it.
Yeah, that's the only reason we're painting it though. That's because of that.
So because this will be
some Chevy orange if we wanted to go back on.
No thanks. But all right, well, man, we're just gonna keep going.
Yeah, I'd like to.
Getting dangerously
I want to get
close.
it done because this guy's wanting to
go racing.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a lot of work to do. He's got to get this thing set in that car so he can get going.
Yeah. But all right, we're going to keep on going with it. What are you doing, Dad?
Well, these
gaskets
gaskets already have stuff on them, but
like silicone.
It's like a silicone bead, but I like to. I mean, we don't want no leaks, you know, so
yeah.
I'm just gonna go over everywhere they've got it and put just a little bit more.
And the reason that we're using copper head gaskets is because the block is O-ringed, right?
Yeah, it's O-ringed, and I think they tried MLSs. You know, this motor had MLSs on it
When we had it.
when we had it.
Yeah.
But they, you know, like I say, he was telling me he ran 50 or 40 something pounds of boost on it, and so with that, you know, you gotta, the only way that's gonna hold is with some kind of an O-ring.
Yeah.
So they receiver group the heads and O-ring the
Block.
So we'll see.
Alright, that's one head torqued on. Dad's running down the studs on the other head.
Yep.
And whenever you're doing that, you just want to take them to where they stop.
Yeah.
You don't want to put any torque on them or anything.
No, because if you torque them into the block, you know, like if you tighten them, I've seen them crack, you know, out of the thread holes.
Yeah.
So you just want to run them down till they stop, and you just stop.
Yeah.
A lot of times we'll run them all the way down tight and then back them off a quarter of a turn or whatever, you know, just depending
That way it gives it a little breathing room.
Just depending on the application. Well, really on
What do you got going on?
Well, we're getting ready to put the shaft rocker mounts on.
Okay.
And on the intake port, the bolt goes down. You can see the light through there.
Shines through it.
So you want to always, on a small block Chevy, and really I'd check it on any engine you're building, but you want to put a little silicone or something on the threads of that bolt.
That way it seals.
That way, when you bolt it down, it seals, and you know, definitely a lot better.
There's 4.
All right, on my lunch hour, as you can see, I got my shaft rockers on. I already ran this side. I thought I'd go back over it with you guys. When it's a solid lifter, you gotta, you know, this one sets at, let's see, what does it set at? It sets at 14 and 20. And I'm actually doing 12 and 18 cold. A little extra clearance, you know, normally I usually just tighten it up and let her rip, but on this motor, it's close enough. I want to do it right. So it's what I do is I rotate the motor over until now this is the exhaust. It's right above the exhaust. So when the exhaust starts to open, I set the intake. And then I'm gonna roll this thing around. After I set this one, I'm gonna roll the motor around, it'll open, and when it starts to close, I set the exhaust. Now another thing, and I don't know if you can see it, but down in here you can also see if you're on the back of the camshaft, and that's what you're doing in reality. But I just kind of wanted to go over that. We're gonna run these rockers, we're gonna pump this thing up. As long as everything's good there, then we're gonna bolt the intake on, and I'm waiting on some new valve covers. And this baby's gonna go on a Chevy too and make some steam. All right, I'm gonna pump it up with oil, and if it's got oil pressure, basically gotta put the intake on and waiting on the valve cover. 68 PSI with the drill turning 1,000 RPM. All right, so 68 pounds of oil pressure. I was rotating the motor over. I could see oil coming out of every lifter hole. Some of these even started pumping up. It won't take long. I mean, if I just kept turning it over, it just keep running out of the push rods. We're really ready for the intake. I don't know if I got enough time before work, but I think I'm gonna try it.
Alright, well, that's it. You put the intake on without me yesterday.
Yeah, I put the intake, I mean, really put all the shaft rockers and ran the rockers and everything, you know.
Did you film it?
Yeah.
You didn't have this, or I had this. I didn't expect.
Yeah, I didn't have that.
I didn't expect you to do anything.
I had to go off of the old camera, so.
Yeah, I didn't expect you to do anything, I guess. But,
yeah.
Well, I mean, that's good. He's ready to get his car back running.
Man, I mean, that's the thing. We're setting up my competition for Hearthstone right now.
I know.
So, But yeah, I'm anxious to see. I think this thing's gonna be a ripper. So
It's been a while since it's been in the shop.
Yeah.
you know, it's way different than when it was in Pat too.
yeah, I posted yesterday a picture of Pat on the back bumper with this motor in. I mean, of course, it was just a 406 then.
Yeah.
You know. but
406, just nitrous.
406 with all the nitrous. And
This is literally a plate.
it ran. So.
Well, that was fun putting it
Yeah.
together. We haven't got to do a small block in a
Yeah.
while since Johnny's, I guess.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, like I say, I'd take this over. I mean, I hate to say it, over my LS any day. You know?
Yeah.
Because I think this motor is probably going to make some crazy power. So, it's got really good pieces in it now, so I don't know. I think it's going to be fast.
Huh? All right. Well, that'll be it for today's video. Probably gonna be a long one. So
Yeah.
putting it all together.
Well, and I even talked about setting the rockers and stuff like that. And I think I had your hand help on it.
You think you did?
I think I did. I don't remember for sure, but
Okay.
we talked about all of that.
Well, we'll see how much came out on the dad
See
cam.
if any dad cam
Yeah.
came out.
So,
Probably not.
but all right. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and we'll holler at you later.